52 updates later in the beta branch, and ladies and gentlemen, we finally have it. Crab Champions Early Access Update 10, the Anvil update. Whew, I say this every single time, and I'll keep saying it, I guess, until Noisestorm proves me wrong. This is the biggest update to the game yet. We've got a new weapon, a new ability, a new melee weapon, a previous weapon rework, the Anvil mechanic as a whole, tons of new enemies, and infinite balance changes, including a massive health 2.0 rework. Let's get into it. As always, I'm not going to read every single thing because that would take a freaking hour and a half, and there's no chance I'm doing this. Also, so many of the balance changes and little stuff, it's just hard to even understand without just playing the game. So go check out the actual patch notes here on Steam if you would like to read the nitty gritty. I'm just going to go over the most important things in my opinion. Obviously, starting off with the new weapons and loadout stuff, we've got a new weapon snuck in at the very end of these beta updates. It's the Lightning Scepter. This thing is goofy, this thing is weird, but it is so much fun to figure out how to use. You kind of jerk your little crab body around and float up and glide a little bit as it spews out a triple shot of lightning. It's insane. Racks up so many stacks. Very cool to see so many elemental weapons come in. Now we just need the poison. And really, they're all staffs at this point because the arcane wand is not really looking like a wand anymore. It's more of a staff. It looks like this, and it shoots a lob. It's also very, very cool. Very nice rework. I like it. I think the arcane wand was starting to fall behind a little bit, so this rework should make it a lot stronger, but I have yet to try it in a full run yet. So yeah, we got the ice staff, the arcane wand that is basically a staff, the lightning scepter, which is obviously a staff, and then the flamethrower. That one makes sense. Keep it a flamethrower, but hopefully maybe we'll get a poison staff, or maybe a lot of people in the Crab Champions Discord saying like a blow dart gun kind of thing. We'll see. Next, we got a new ability, the Airstrike. Another one that he kind of just did out of nowhere. Dropped it in one of the later beta updates here. You saw my video. I'm not very good with it, but it is very cool, very unique. Super long cooldown, but drops a literal nuke for like, I think, what's the damage right now? 750? Very strong compared to any other ability. Tons of fun to play and build into that one. And then the Katana Melee. This is another really cool movement mechanic and focused melee item. The hammer, obviously, tons of movement there, a little bit of movement with the pickaxe as well, but this katana is definitely very straightforward, obvious movement here with that forward dash and spin move. You get pretty much the same horizontal distance as the hammer, just obviously not the vertical height, so kind of a pro and con there. Not as much damage as the hammer either, but slower cooldown, or faster cooldown, quicker, fewer seconds. You get the idea. It's a ton of fun. Now let's get into the name of the update, the Anvil Portals Enhancements 2.0. We saw the start of Enhancements with the last update, update 9. Actually, wait a minute. Did we? I don't think we did. So yeah, we first saw Enhancements with the Variety Update Part 2 back in March 2024. Now a year later, March 2025, we have a complete rework with the Anvil Portals and the Anvil Island rewards. So how it works is instead of your normal chest loot rewards based on the type of loot, the portal choice, you will instead be given the choice of 3 anvils, even more if you get the proper relic, and you interact with them and literally choose the enhancement and choose which loot item it goes onto. No more RNG with there's still RNG for the enhancements you get here, but you get to specifically choose the loot item, right? You're not just crossing your fingers with the enhancement totem and hoping that Spark Shot gets damaging, right? Now you can walk up, find damaging, and put it on the Spark Shot. It's insane. This alone has completely defined the meta of the beta build and of the game for the last year. Enhancements were already so strong, and now they are even stronger in my opinion. You're really doing yourself a disservice if you're not finding at least one enhanceable item and putting a few enhancements on it throughout the run. The enhancement limit per mod is also increased all the way up to 8, not just 3, so you can get some really insane combinations going or load up on some of the better enhancements more than once. It's truly phenomenal. And naturally, with this new enhancement system comes a variety of new enhancements like returning, which is like boomerang, orbiting, chipping, which is like time shot or time claws, growing, which is kind of like big shot, endangering, I don't actually know what that one is, expanding, persisting, doubling, booming, tripling, zigging, accelerating, spiraling, and more. There's tons of stuff here, and they're all pretty solid. It's almost always guaranteed at least, 50% damage, even with the more weaker ones in air quotes like spiraling. So it is a lot of fun. I love it. Let's get into another big rework here. We have the Health 2.0, as he's calling it. So basically, Island 1, you're getting your damage loot, your damage chest, and then you're also getting a regenerating chest. That's going to give you a health item that regenerates in some way, or really just a health item. Regenerator's in there, naturally, but also scavenger, endurance, things like this that help kickstart your run and make sure that you're going to get some healing before you get to the actual Tony's Garden in the shop on Island 6 of the biome and just Island 6 in general. Along with this change, the base max health is now 250 instead of 150 for all modes, I believe. Someone fact check me on that one. I don't know how to fact check it besides going into, what am I gonna load up the game and press play 6 times for all the different difficulties? No, I'm lazy. We're not doing that. Another big thing here is that hearts do not exist anymore, and health as a whole is actually 2 different stats in your stat screen in the UI. You'll also notice some different colors there on those stats. You now have your base max health and your max health multiplier. There's also a healing multiplier, or the effectiveness of healing. And so instead of hearts, we now have bananas. They're back. That increases your max health multiplier. We got mangoes, which just increase your max health, of course, multiplied by the multiplier. And then we still have armor in those chests again. They were taken out for a little bit. They are back. And then amber resin is a perk that will increase the effectiveness of your heals. Health no longer feels like an afterthought. It no longer feels like something that you just, I don't know, get up to about 1,000, then you're good for the whole run. And it doesn't go up quickly as it used to. It's something that you constantly have to be weighing the pros and cons of, do you want that health for survivability, or do you want to get more damage, or maybe go luck portal for some driller, or skill portal, try to cross your fingers and get big chests, right? It's a much more interesting dynamic than it used to be, but that also has in general made the game a little bit harder. We mentioned enemies at the beginning, so let's get into those. There's a bunch here on this list, but the exciting ones, Elite Beam Skull. My goodness, I keep saying in all my recordings, if you've been following the channel, this is the first elite / boss that just feels like a true elite fight, a true boss fight. It is so much fun with the variety of attacks that the Beam Skull has, and honestly the Laser Skull following close behind in second. And this new one as well, Elite Landmine Limpet. Both of these new elites are so interesting to fight with more than just 1 or 2 attacks. It really makes the other ones seem pretty weak sauce, but I know that he's working on bringing them all up to that same quality level. So I'm really looking forward to how those end up looking. But yeah, Elite Beam Skull, Elite Landmine Limpet, very fun to fight. And Barrage Skulls, normal enemy here. They are just another skull to ruin your day. They shoot a big, almost like a scorpion projectile, the way the normal size scorpions shoot, but in a little bit of a different formation. So those are fun if you ever find them. They're champion level enemy, I believe. So they are pretty hard, but they're not, not quite elite level. Along the same vein here, we do have a new difficulty modifier called Ambushing Elites. So if you turn that on for your True Nightmare, your True Ultra Chaos, or you just play with a few modifiers, this one will spawn an elite on the 3rd island of each biome no matter what. It is intense. Fighting an elite on Island 3 on a solo True Nightmare Namo Diamond Run, whatever you want to call it. One final thing here with the enemies, you will notice in the UI there is a new health bar for elite fights and boss fights. Pretty nice actually seeing not only their total health, but you can kind of calculate your own damage a little bit easier than just seeing those little tiny damage numbers. You can actually see how fast it melts their health. It is very helpful with the numbers, not just the red bar going down. Let's move into the new loot items that we have here. I'm going to be honest, I bet Noisestorm forgot some with how many freaking beta updates, 52 of them. But we've got the weapon mod Beam Shot. I did a cool build with that. Go check it out. It is very, very fun. Some ability mods like Time Explosion, which is just like Time Shot. We've got Iron Explosion, which is just like Iron Claws. We've got Targeting Explosion, just like Targeting Shot. We've got Split Explosion. Yep, just like Split Shot. Accelerating ability, just like Accelerating Shot. You get the point. He's fleshing out all of the different loot pools, so the ability mods now have a lot more things that you previously would only see in weapons, and even melee mods like Time Claws. Again, just like Time Shot, and now Time Explosion. Arcane Claws, so now we have all of the different elements as a claws variant, as a melee mod. Moving into the relics, we've got Blacksmith Ring and Blacksmith Amulet. They sound the same. They are very much not. One gives you the ability to choose 2 enhancements on a single Anvil island, and one gives you the ability to see 2 more Anvil options, kind of like Coral Amulet. We also have Ring of Vigor, increases your max health multiplier after clearing each island, kind of like some of the other rings that increase things after each island. Turbo Ring, which is your fire rate. There's the one with your crit chance. Arcane Ring in there finally. We had every other element, so now we got the Arcane. That's nice to see. We also have Ring of Favoritism. If you only have one chance-based enhanceable weapon mod, then guess what? It's 1,000% more likely to trigger. That proc chance goes crazy if you find this. I honestly don't think I've found it yet. So maybe that's why I'm complaining nonstop in these runs. Can't get something to proc very high. Need to find this damn ring. Also a cool greed relic, which is fun to see. Overspill goblet. Your crit chance is cut in half, but also added to your damage multiplier. This also retroactively makes sharpshooter and hotshot linear scaling, but they can go past 100 because of course it's halving and being added to your crit damage multiplier. So really trying to tackle the fact that crit kind of used to have a diminishing return situation where as you got closer to 100%, it was less and less helpful, right? I mean, 80% crit versus 90% crit, effectively the same thing. That'll be a fun one to try. Maybe a full crit build will be fun to revisit. Have not done that in a long time. And finally, another relic, time ring. Damage dealt over time is increased by 400%. Now we have time shot, time claws, and time explosion, and also find time ring. And then my God, you're going to be absolutely melting people with all of those abilities if you have this ring. I do believe only a single new island, although I bet there's been some reworks that aren't explicitly mentioned. Again, 52 beta updates, hard for him to properly remember every single unique thing in these patch notes. We have a deep water tropical island. It is cool. It is unique. It is odd, but definitely a fun one if you find it. Everyone moves slowly in water, not just you as a player, so it is it's just interesting. That's all I'll say. You have to experience it for yourself. Auto sliding is a thing for those who were getting pinky cramps from sliding nonstop. I actually turned it off, but for controller players, this is huge. As you land from a jump, you will automatically slide. On by default, but you can go into the settings and disable it. I disabled it because I like a little bit more control, but for controller players especially, being able to slide more than having to spam it nonstop, this is key. Waves islands are unfortunately completely removed. He didn't feel like they were distinct enough from Arena Islands, so I'm not sure if he will rework that and bring it back later, or if he will just work on more unique blessings. That's another category we need to get into. Tons of new blessings. Remember, the flawless blessing, that was like the only one for a long time, and it was basically an additional challenge for an additional reward. So if you went flawless during the island, you would get an extra chest. Kind of like a challenge modifier, but not a requirement, just a bonus incentive. So now we have a few more. Harvest. There are zones throughout the area, kind of like little purple circles. And if you stand in them, you gain crystals. Eventually they disappear and you can go on to the next one. Nice little bonus. Knives out. Enemies drop 5 times crystals if you eliminate with melee. So if you got a nice melee run going, there you go. Great blessing to find. Some more stuff here. Regenerating enemies as a difficulty modifier has just been completely removed, which I will not complain about. I did not like that one. It was very hard. So thankfully, we will not have to deal with the fact that, oh no, you forgot to shoot that elite for a few seconds. Now they're back to full health. Very nice to have that removed. Plenty of new icons and visual stuff within the UI. You'll probably notice like the fonts are a little bit different. The size of the squares for your inventory a little different. I already mentioned, but the colors of your stat screen in the UI, like those physical, like there's like highlights basically. Those are a little bit different. Stuff spaced out slightly. There's extra icons here and there. Players technically have a color now with a little crown that's colored above their head. So if you play co-op, you'll notice that. You can even ping locations. Remember, you could ping and it's like a little knock on wood, like a maps icon, a location icon. Now it has that icon still, but there's like an aura that spawns and dissipates, so a little bit more obvious. Speaking of pinging, if you ping your own chest, your teammates can open it. You can share loot now. Holy shit, I cannot believe I forgot to say that until now. That's actually one of the cooler things, like a lot of improvements to the co-op experience here with pinging being better. You can ping loot to share it. Also, guess what? You can revive your teammates now. And regenerating enemies are gone, so you don't even have to if you died in co-op with regenerating enemies on, good luck to your boy who's alive. Don't need to worry about that anymore. And if you die, you can just stand in a zone to revive your teammates. It's, oh my God, it's so much fun now. Not that it wasn't fun in the past, but all these little things, they just all add up to a better co-op experience. It's great. Going back to the enemies, because I forgot, of course, these things are not in order. Noisestorm, come on, man. What, 52 beta updates and you couldn't properly put everything in order? You bitch. Anyway, added crab and skull death sounds. Let's go. It's actually pretty sad when the crabs die. They sound very sad. Also, when enemies get hit, there's a little reaction, especially with the crabs. They're like jerking around, kind of like your own crab when you shoot the lightning scepter. Very funny, but also, again, a little bit sad. What the heck? He also removed high score system, as in his words, it was more of a test of patience and luck than an indicator of skill. I kind of agree. There are better ways to show off when you complete a run, like difficulty and island survived. I agree. Like, high score was so much just like keep that 5x combo going with some armor on an easy run and go to island 2000 and you'll have just an absurdly high score. Whereas like someone making it to 500 in true ultra chaos, like that's clearly harder. and you're a way better player, but your score probably wouldn't even be as high. Some more general stuff here with the general balance changes section. Elemental damage is affected by global damage multiplier. Oh my god, this is a massive buff to all elements across the board. They're just all better. That's all there is to it, especially lightning. Just an insanely easy way to rack up lightning stacks with the new lightning scepter. So lots of good elemental buffs here. I know the last update was called the elemental update, but this one honestly could have been called that as well. It's crazy. A couple more things here. They're kind of out of order, but we're just gonna roll with it. Spike chests now take a certain percentage of your base max health. Right, currently it's 25%. So in theory, you can kind of just keep on opening as many spike chests as possible because you're always just going to lose 25% of your max health. So if you're at 100, you'll go down to 75. If you're at 75, then you'll lose 25% of that. You'll just keep on getting smaller, but you'll never actually not be able to open the chest. Bit of an incentive there to take spike chest, and honestly, I love it. A lot of people were saying, hey man, I got diamond, but I want to loop it. I want to keep going, but it's just too easy. What the heck? And to them, I say, bro, relax. Save some of the skill for the rest of us who suck. But yeah, Noisestorm did listen and make the game even harder after looping. So loop scaling, especially after 56. So after 2 full sets, you loop it once to get diamond, loop it a second time, scaling really kicks in. So yeah, the game is definitely harder as a whole now, at least if you're going on those longer runs. You cannot necessarily steamroll as easy as you used to be able to. Probably good for the game as a whole, but definitely, you know, it's for those players who really want to challenge. Breaking armor works a little bit different than it used to. One, the hit that would break your armor does not break your combo anymore. You have to get hit a second time to lose your combo. I like that. Also, breaking armor clears your debuff. So you can't just have 4,000 fire stacks and it chews through 6 plates of armor and your health. Once your armor's gone, well, really, a single armor plate breaks. I believe, I don't actually know if this is all of your plates breaking and then it debuffs, then it clears, or if it's just a single piece breaks and then it debuffs. Clears all the debuffs. I don't know. Either way, very nice. Moving on, shop pricing is consistent between solo and multiplayer. There's no scaling in the pricing anymore, which I thought was a bit rough. It was always, I don't know, it'd be like you can buy one thing. Your entire team can only afford one thing. Now it should feel the same. I think that's good. Another thing with the shops here, infinite pedestals can no longer be discounted. It was just a little bit too broken. Ultimately, Noisestorm doing a lot of balance changes to make sure that this game is giving the proper difficulty, especially at these higher difficulty levels like Nightmare, Ultra Chaos, True Nightmare, True Ultra Chaos, right? Health rocks can only be destroyed with melee. An interesting change, but I like it. The health rocks would just kind of break on their own during the craziness of a fight. You're saving them for the end, maybe heal up at the end of the fight, and all of a sudden they're broken and they're gone. They were gone 30 seconds prior. So now you have to go up and melee them. Enemies cannot melee them, just the player. On the flip side though, max health rocks, the old piss rock, that does not have this same protection. They're more valuable and you have to treat them as such. Grab them at the beginning or steer clear of them properly. As you can see, we've got some weapon balance changes, some weapon mod changes, ability mod, melee mod, perk, oh, relic, enemy balance, so much balance changing going on here, and I'm not reading it. It's too much. Tons of bug fixes as well. At the end of the day, the game is constantly being tweaked, and Noisestorm, as you can tell by this wall of text, look how large this thing is. I'm not even scrolling that fast. Look at this. Are you looking? Good sir, are you? Damn. But yeah, that's the main gist, ladies and gentlemen. Crab Champions, Anvil update, early access update 10. We are 2 full years into early access, and it is insane how far this game has come. If you haven't tried this game yet, what are you doing? If you're a fan of the roguelike genre, indie games as a whole, if you got a gaming PC, actually, screw that. If you got even a Steam Deck or ROG Ally, I've got one of those stupid things. It's a Balatro machine at this point. But if you have one, it actually runs really good. This game is lightweight. We're looking at, wait a minute. How do I see the size? God damn it. 1.78 gigabytes on P3 Plus, which is my D drive. Hell yeah, dude. Put it on the D. Less than 2 gigs. This game is super efficient, super lightweight, and super easy to run until you get to like a super crazy bullet hell build. Obviously, then it starts to chug, but that's at any game, right? So yeah, check it out. I'm pretty sure it's on sale right now. Let me go to the Steam page here. Let me go ahead and check it out. Wow. What is that, a banger soundtrack plan? Jeez. Yeah, 30% off. $7. And even at the full price of $10. Oh my god, so expensive, I know. Anyways, that's all I got for you. If you like the video, like the video. Subscribe for more of your second favorite F word. I am your guy for Crab Champions. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.